Hello, I'm Andrew Chu, Research and Policy Analyst with the Institute. In this video, we'll be talking about Northeastern Pennsylvania's growing and changing population and demographic trends and how they affect all of us. Our region is at an important turning point in the COVID-19 pandemic. While the Delta variant has brought new challenges and an increase in cases, the availability of vaccines have allowed the region to take big steps toward normalcy. In light of this, we'll be looking forward in this briefing and examining some long-term population trends we're seeing in the latest data from the 2020 census and how these trends will affect the region now and in the future. In the July 2021 issue of the Institute's Policy Tracker, we noted that Pennsylvania will be losing one of its seats in the U.S. House of Representatives and one of its Electoral College votes following the results of the 2020 U.S. Census. However, this doesn't mean that the population of Pennsylvania shrank. The Commonwealth just grew at a slower pace than many other states. Between the 2010 and 2020 censuses, Pennsylvania's population increased by 2.4% compared to a nationwide increase of 7.4%. Here in Northeast PA, the population also grew over the last decade, but at a slightly slower pace than the Commonwealth as a whole. Luzerne County's population grew by 1.5%, and Lackawanna County's grew by under 1% over the last decade. We've seen a different trend in some of the more rural counties in the region, where most counties saw declines in the last decade. Some of the largest decreases in population were in several of the northern tier counties, while the Pocono counties of Carbon, Monroe, and Pike saw more modest decreases, or in the case of Pike County, modest growth. Northeastern Pennsylvania is also becoming more diverse. Both counties saw rapid growth in the population of non-white and Hispanic residents. Lackawanna County, for example, saw an 88% increase in the Asian population over the last decade, while the number of Hispanic residents in Luzerne County more than doubled. These populations generally grew in Lackawanna and Luzerne counties at a faster pace than the state as a whole, and the region's modest population growth in the last decade would have actually been a decline if not for the increasing population of Asian, Black, and Hispanic residents. These population trends will affect many aspects of the region, ranging from business and government to education and social services. In addition to impacting the number of congressional seats allotted to each state, census data also helps determine how over $1.5 trillion in federal funding is distributed annually to states and local governments for various services and infrastructure. Data derived from the census was used to distribute funds from 316 federal programs as of 2017. These programs include Medicare, Medicaid, Head Start, WIC, SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, federal direct student loans, highway construction grants, among many others. Another way that population trends affect our region is workforce. Prior to the sudden impact of the pandemic, the region had seen an employment increase of 3.7% since 2010, and statewide, the job growth rate over the decade was over 4%. Lackawanna and Luzerne County's population growth during that time did not keep pace with job growth. And many businesses are already reporting difficulty in filling open positions. Food service related occupations are one example. There are 125 more job openings in the last 12 months than the prior year in those occupations. And job openings are taking longer to fill, 51 to 62 days now, compared with 24 to 38 days before the pandemic. This means that as new jobs are created and the region emerges from the pandemic, there could be long-term structural workforce shortages, especially in high-demand occupations, as baby boomers continue to leave the workforce and there are fewer new workers entering the labor force to replace them. The region will need to be innovative and adaptable in order to keep the economy moving forward. So far, we've discussed what we know about the region's population based on the 2020 census data and what that means for all of us. However, there have also been anecdotal reports that suggest that population growth may have even accelerated after the 2020 census. This is evidenced by strong growth in home prices and reports of limited inventory and short times between home listing and sale. Home values in the region increased by 13.6% from March 2020 to March 2021, more than double the growth rate seen in previous years. And in a reversal of previous trends, the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton area saw faster home price growth than the state and national averages. This could be due to several factors driven by the pandemic, including a newly remote workforce choosing to live in more affordable metro areas like Northeast PA, the region's growing transportation and warehousing sector, immigration from abroad, and people moving out of larger cities along the East Coast due to high cost of living or concerns about COVID-19. We don't yet know how much population growth we've actually seen since April 2020. And if there was a large increase, how much of it will be permanent as opposed to temporary? However, any new growth will result in a tighter, more expensive housing market if not accompanied by the creation of new housing. Much of the data and analysis I've talked about today can be found on the Institute's most recent quarterly economy tracker, policy tracker, community-based research task force reports, and the 2021 regional indicators report. All of these are available for free on our website, institutepa.org. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to continuing to bring you the latest data-driven insights for Northeastern Pennsylvania.